There's a postcard in the mailbox and some beans upon the stove. And my place is just around the bend on a dusty gravel road. I broke my back to build this place out of sweat and blood and wood. Turn a pile of rocks into a field like Granddad always could. Now I'm halfway to where I want to be. Well, I went to see my woman and she told me it was time to think about that stuff you think of when there's too much on your mind. Like being born again or being born for the first time. So I wrapped my brain around that like a piece of baling twine. Now that young'un keeps us up until the dawn. Well, I went down to the creek bank, I was bound to ease my mind. Saw the world around me changing and leaving me behind. I done told you once that I'm not the man I used to be. So take my hand, little darling, and we'll see what we can see. And we'll sing until we sang up all the songs. Where we sang and sang and sang against the rising of the sun. Sent postcards back home now and then to show them what we'd done. We dug in pretty deep, we grew them beans out in the yard. Slept real good every night, I guess 'cause we worked hard. Now I'm right where I wanna be. There's a postcard in the mailbox and some beans upon the stove. And my place is just around the bend on a dusty gravel road. I moved out here to get a little closer to the ground, to listen to the sunset when it don't make a sound. Thank y'all. I'm going to tell a few stories tonight. This next song is called Dirty Streets. Billy likes it. I used to live in Lexington. God, it's been 25 years ago. I was dating this girl and was walking down Main Street one night in the middle of winter, and it's just cold in Lexington, wind blowing. And I don't know how that translated into, it translated into this walking down these dirty streets, and we both knew we was about to split, but nobody wanted to say anything about it, you know. So I started thinking about the other traveling I'd done, which is a lot through the years. I was high on the banks of a river when I first saw that side of the world. And I was high in Sierra Nevada when I first saw that side of a girl. In a moment you find what you're looking for, and in a moment it's taken away. Sometimes it seems like there ain't enough, so you just make believe for the day. And you're in dirty streets crowded by people who don't really care that it changed. I stare at the ground with dark eyes, but I can't remember your name. I was high overlooking the city when I noticed a twinkle below. And I was high at the foot of the Rockies, out in the nowhere of New Mexico. But when I noticed that life can be bigger, oh, and older than any we've seen, and the coyotes wailed with possession as I trembled through 4 o'clock dreams. In your dirty streets crowded by people who don't really care that it changed, I stare at the ground with dark eyes, but I can't remember your name. I searched for that feeling of poison, but by morning it all goes away. And I could pull you close, or I could let you go, but I know that I just can't stay. In your dirty streets crowded by people, and they don't really care that it changed. Oh, I stare at the ground with dark eyes, but I can't remember your name. Remember your name, yeah. I can't remember your name. Thank you. This next song is called Roll Away. It's about this guy who got so beat down by his family that he just couldn't figure out how to really get anything done in life. And I just felt like he was kind of like in a tomb with a stone up against him, and he just couldn't push it out of the way. Put your feet down on the ground where you found yourself when you were only a boy. Bask in the name when you think of the name of that girl who took you for a toy. Remember, my friend, that when you reach the end, there ain't nothing there left but a stone. You're paying the price for a life that's lived too far from home. Did you ever stop to think of what it'd be like to drink water straight from the well? And then realize that the tears in your eyes have their own story to tell. Shake the dust off of them boots that you bought when you thought you had money to spend. Put some more miles on a life that's lived too far from home. And roll away. Oh, you gotta roll that stone away. Somebody pushed up against you before you knew how to push back. Try to hold on to your worried mind. It's the only thing left here to lose. In the meantime, there's more than just one shade of blue. If somebody asked you to pass through a dark place, would you kick a hole in the wall? Let in some light just to chase off a night when it stays over into the dawn. Will you pack up your things every time the phone rings? What can a man do but go? back to work on a life that's lived too far from home. Roll away, oh, you gotta roll that stone away. Somebody pushed up against you before you knew how to push back. Oh, try to hold on to your worried mind. It's the only thing left here to lose. In the meantime, there's more than just one shade of blue. Yeah, in the meantime, there's more than just one shade of blue. Thank y'all. Hey, y'all probably don't know that we have a premier guitar maker sitting here in the crowd. Mr. Ray DeWeese builds me this beautiful guitars that I play all the time. These Gillespies, aren't they pretty? Look, he even got me a little peace sign in here. Got birds flying up the neck. I even got capo matches, got little birds on it too. This makes me proud every time I play it. Thanks, Ray. I write a lot of songs about my wife over here, Melissa, because I don't really see many other girls. And so, but this one comes from a long time ago, this song. It's called Yellow Flowers, from a trip up to the holler one day. Hold on, I'm going to get a drink of water. Take me up the holler, babe. Let me drink your wine. Turn me into something that you want. I've been waiting all week for you, and we ain't got too much time. We could take a shortcut through the swamp. But you know I adore you, with those yellow flowers in your hair, and the fragrance of the evening blowing in the air. Now someday I'll build a cabin with a garden in the back, and you can grow your own up on the ridge. We can love our cares away, girl, in our one-room loving shack, and bathe the naked moonlight on the bridge. 'Cause you know I adore you, with those yellow flowers in your hair, and the fragrance of the evening blowing in the air. Now don't think about what used to be. Don't think about the past. Summer nights can take that all away. Just sit right here beside me. Say you love me for a while, just a little bit more than yesterday. 'Cause you know I adore you, with those yellow flowers in your hair, and the fragrance of the evening blowing in the air, and the fragrance of the evening blowing in the air. Hey, now, I don't want y'all to feel like you're tied down. Y'all get up, move around, go to the bathroom, go find you a free beer somewhere, get you some popcorn. This ain't church. There's a thin line between Saturday night and Sunday morning. That's what Jimmy Buffett said. I write a lot of songs. I got on a real kick writing songs about my grandparents. I grew up I grew up their place a lot up in Hydro, just north of here. And they'd been on that farm for, I don't know, since the 50s when the old man gave it to them. I'll sing a song about that later. But, you know, when you grow up at your grandparents and they're still the old school people, you know, Granddad was born in 1913. Damn, that's a long time ago. They had a whole different way of being. They saved Cool Whip containers, and jars, and didn't throw nothing out because they might run out of it someday and need it. And they taught me a whole lot. They lived pretty simple, never had nothing that they didn't really need, and didn't ever waste anything, and didn't ever have much fun. And always worried they was gonna be hungry or something, you know, because they had been hungry. Somewhere along the way, my dad named that 100 acres Long Valley Farm. And so I wrote this song about when I was a kid. I'd have been 10 or 12 years old when all this stuff was happening. Toothpick dangled from his lip as he dozed off in that old easy chair. Granny hanged the clothes out on the line, and the King James Bible sat right there on the corner of his desk, and a whetstone worn deep with time. And a brownie calendar, it always hung there on a nail. Told him when to plant with the signs. And a big old rotary telephone was tied to a cubby hole in the wall. You know, back then, didn't nobody really care what was on your mind. And the sun was going down on the Long Valley Farm, a lifetime of reaping what he sowed. Hard-working hands, they now folded on his knee. Now it's time to just let go. Now my granny, she never said a word, no matter what was wrong. Lord, she pushed all that way down deep inside. She just bite her tongue and she'd go right on back to work, just like she had damn near every day since she was 5. Now we used to sit around the kitchen table after my granddaddy had that wreck. Oh, she had the kind of wisdom you just can't buy. And she never did travel much, but she sure come a long, long way from a dirt poor 14-year-old bride. But the sun was going down on a Long Valley Farm. A lifetime had made that house a home. Hard-working hands, they never heard a word of thanks. Now it's time to just let go. lost their firstborn son on a bluff overlooking that creek. I always thought that maybe my granddaddy was ashamed, but they stood their ground like a tree beside the water. Oh, they never got washed out with the rain, and they stayed on a straight path. They was faithful till the bitter end. They about the only thing makes me proud of my last name. But the sun was going down on a Long Valley farm, a lifetime of memories, hard-working hands, but they now rest there on a hill. Now it's time to just let go. Let go. While the thistle and the broom sage, the Johnson grass and burr rock take back the rightful place where corn was grown. That's how it was, now I know. Now it's time to just let go. Thank y'all so much. This song here, next one, it's called the Tree Frog Song. I love tree frogs. This morning we had a little tree frog on the door. He wasn't that big, little dude. I just think they're so cool. I wrote this song about my granddad and the little house they lived in. When I was living in a little farmhouse right down the road from where they used to live. Me and Melissa lived there for a while. This song's gone through a lot of different renditions. We did it back in old dryland fish days 100 years ago, but it's kind of a different song now. In a little white frame house just a few miles out of town, Granddad worked and made a family strong. Well, he gave them all he had and showed them good from bad, filled them with the dreams they counted on. Back when times were tough and lean, all the kids were young and green. Bad news seemed to find him every day. Well, he couldn't grow no more, and the bank was at his door. He'd walk outside and cuss that rocky clay. Then he'd go out to the garden with a Bible in his hand, ask the Lord to make his crops grow tall. And it seems a million miles away, that small Kentucky farm where the tree frog makes a sad and lonesome song. Where the tree frog makes a sad and lonesome song. Boys never knew their mama. Oh, she died giving birth to number 3. But he never compromised with a teardrop in his eyes. So one day he could pass that farm to me. Yeah, one day he could pass that farm to me. Now when he was near the end, he toasted an old friend. He said Jesus couldn't take his pain away. Well, I guess that he was wrong, 'cause he died before the dawn. Granddad granddad sleeping in the ground today. Yeah, my granddad's sleeping in the ground today. But he'd go out to the garden with a Bible in his hand and ask the Lord to make his crops grow tall. And it seems a million miles away, that small Kentucky farm where the tree frog makes a sad and lonesome song. Oh, where the tree frog makes a sad and lonesome song. I've been writing a little lately, which is rare. Songs are like little snowflakes that just fall down out of the sky sometimes. You better catch them. If you don't, they'll melt. So my wife's got dry hair, and she doesn't like using conditioner because it makes her hair too hard to blow dry. So she's out on the back porch the other day, and she's like, I got nothing left but dead ends. And I said, there's a song right there. So I got this telephone I keep in my pocket like everybody else, and I recently discovered that you can use that to write stuff down on instead of having to go find a notebook. And so the other thing that occurred to me as I was thinking about writing this song, which I wrote basically in one day, was that I've been building furniture, and really beautiful furniture, hopefully for 20-some years. And business sucks right now. It sucked for several months. And it feels like that there's some kind of a new horizon that I need to find, some kind of a new turn that I got to make. And this song is sort of a way to maybe help me work through that. I've been chasing all these dreams so long, I chased them all away, with a pocket full of promises and debts I never paid. Some fell down like raindrops, some went down in flames, and some are like a lost sheep, wandering helpless and afraid. I've got nothing left but dead ends, I got nowhere left to turn. If I was high up on a mountain, I just watch the whole thing burn. Watch the embers turn to ashes, and the ashes turn to dust. Wrapped up and could have been and never was. Maybe once or twice I saw a pathway lined with gold, but the straight and narrow turned into a crooked winding road. A quicksand on the shoulder, speed bumps in between, and a glimpse of light I thought just might be God's voice in the trees. I've got nothing left but dead ends, I got nowhere left to turn. If I was high up on a mountain, I just watch the whole thing burn. Watch the embers turn to ashes, and the ashes turn to dust. Wrapped up and could have been and never was. Falling ain't like falling till you finally hit the ground. Along the way you're just floating on the breeze, passing by the things you think might be holding you down. We do what we do to put our mind at ease. But I've got nothing left but dead ends, I got nowhere left to turn. If I was high up on a mountain, I just watch the whole thing burn. Watch the embers turn to ashes, and the ashes turn to dust. Wrapped up and could have been and never was. Wrapped up and could have been and never was. Thank you. Lost my mama last year, and as songwriters do, I don't know what people that can't write a song do to work through tragedy and turmoil in their life. For me, it's just been such a gift to be able to write a song about it and sing it out. I can say things up here with this guitar in front of me to you guys that I'd never say if that guitar was sitting over there and I wasn't singing them, you know? It's a amazing thing. I wrote this song about Mom and this relationship that she almost had. After finding an old picture of this good-looking young fella in his old pickup truck and his uniform, he was heading off to Vietnam, and I thought, man, I could have been somebody else. Might have been better. I don't know. I've had a great family. We're just a little screwed up. It's called A Good Man's Wife. Well, the longest day she ever knew was just like the one before. And the midnight brings on old familiar ghost, like an unwound golden pocket watch left lying in a drawer. She forgot about the one she loved the most. It was 1964 in a little country town. He had a farmer's smile and a hopped-up flathead Ford. She was smarter than the other girls, but she loved to sing along. When Brenda Lee come on the radio, and oh, how she sparkled, how she shined with the light of life. A good woman who was almost a good man's wife. Well, when high school days are over, a letter came one day. They said the Army needs your body for a while. So he parked that old Ford in the barn, and he took her by the hand. He said, when I get home, I'm gonna walk you down the aisle. And oh, how she sparkled, how she shined with the light of light. A good woman who was almost a good man's wife. Like a lot of other fine young men, he never made it back. 40 years of loving left her cold. Now she sits and stares in silence with a twinkle in her eye when Brenda Lee comes on the radio. Because the longest day she ever knew was just like the one before. and the midnight brings on old familiar ghosts, like an unwound golden pocket watch left lying in a drawer. She's forgot about the one she loved the most. She forgot about the one she loved the most. Thank you. I got this fancy capo tonight because I lost my good one at Murphfest. Somebody's like, hey, can I borrow your capo? And I said, sure. And that's all she wrote. Y'all probably will figure out who this song's about. Her, you know. I really love her. It's called Woman of My Dreams. Well, she's my sunshine. When the dark clouds come a-calling, she's my moonshine. When I want to lose myself, she's the one thing I can hold on to forever. She's the one thing I won't share with no one else. When she's gone, I'm a ship without an anchor. When she's gone, I'm a guitar with no strings. She don't know. If my whole world turns around her, she don't know that she's the woman of my dreams. Well, she's the first thing that I think of every morning. She's the last thing that I'd ever want to leave. I may never understand what makes her wander. Hope she always wanders right back home to me. 'Cause when she's gone, I'm a ship without an anchor. When she's gone, I'm a guitar with no strings. She don't know. If my whole world turns around her, she don't know that she's a woman of my dreams. And it's been half a lifetime since I looked into her eyes. Swore that I would love her till the end. Ups and downs and turnarounds and just another day to fly around the sun with my best friend. Just to fly around the sun with my best friend. 'Cause when she's gone, I'm a ship without an anchor. When she's gone, I'm a guitar with no strings. She don't know. If my whole world turns around her, she don't know that she's the woman of my dreams. She don't know. If my whole world turns around her, she don't know that she's a woman of my dreams. Thank y'all. Yeah. Dadgummit, there's another song about my wife. I really tried to get songs in here that weren't all about her, but it appears that the next two, in fact, are about her. That's just, you know, I write what I know. Well, I'm going to tell y'all how we met since I talk so much about her. So there I was. We used to be good friends with all the radio DJs around town when I had the cool band, and we were over at Tony Rose's place for Super Bowl Sunday in Alt 1. And we, being good folks, we were sitting up on the porch tapping the keg at 10 a.m. And here comes this this pretty blonde girl wearing an old, like an old furry shearling jacket and some blue jeans, coming to fill up a glass of beer to ride in the car with while they went to Tennessee to buy a beer. Because, you know, we used to not be able to buy a beer. And she come up there at 10 in the morning to get her a beer to take to Tennessee to buy a beer. And I was like, I didn't pay attention to this one. And it took a long time, but this song, it's not really much about it, but a little bit about it. And it's kind of sad, so the story's funny, though, so you can keep the funny story in your head while I'm singing the slow song. There was a time in my rambling days, my only thought was how to put myself in a haze and just hit this thing and pass it around, and soon you'll be 5 feet off the ground. But running too fast, you can leave things behind. Just take what you want, take whatever you can find. If I knew then all the things I know now, but then I was 5 feet off the ground. You're never gonna find what you're looking for when you can't even find yourself. Ain't never enough, you're always wanting more, till you find there ain't nothing left. One day I looked up and I saw your face, a stranger to me in an old familiar place. And then you walked by and I saw that smile. It was 5 feet off the ground. I was searching, I was longing for the one true thing that I'd never found. When I'm with you, I feel like I'm floating. When I'm with you, I feel like I'm floating. When I'm with you, I feel like I'm floating. 5 feet off the ground. When I'm with you, I feel like I'm floating. 5 feet off the ground. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I really like that one too. I got one I wrote for me and Billy. If it's okay if I play it, Billy?
Yes, sir.
All right. I played this song one time at this thing, and this lady hated it. I think I defended her. It's about how I do all the housework, and my wife doesn't, but she makes the money and buys our insurance and our groceries, and, you know, she's pretty important around the house. But I think I really offended this lady because we don't have real traditional roles, you know? Like, when Briar was little and I'd take him to the doctor, like when he was a baby, and I'd be the only dude there, you know, stuff like that. So I decided I'd write a funny song about it. It's called Woman Work. My wife don't cook, she don't clean. She don't get upset over little things. She loves cold beer, she loves me. She loves sitting in a lawn chair down by the creek in the summertime. When the water's fine, she lets me help with her sunscreen. And we spend our day in the natural way. She drifts off to sleep. But I'm doing all the woman work, and she's paying all the bills that hurt. I'm cooking up the collard greens, she's paying for the groceries. I got a modern girl in a modern world. This ain't 1953. I'm doing all the woman work, and that's alright with me. My wife don't sew, and that ain't all. She don't worry about the leaves falling in the fall. Now a big fire pit to warm her feet. Every Friday night that's where she'll be in the winter time. She blows my mind in her cowboy boots and jeans. Round the campfire light, we can do it right, and my life is just a dream. But I'm doing all the woman work. She's a boss in a mini skirt. She's up and gone before the sun. The other day she got to fire someone. I got a modern girl in a modern world. This ain't 1963. I'm doing all the woman work, and that's alright with me. Now if you're lucky enough to find a love that's the best you've ever seen, but put down your glass and get off your ass and buddy go buy her a ring. Start doing some woman work. Clean up the dishes and make dessert. You'll be living you a happy life when you got yourself a happy wife. You got a modern girl in a modern world. This ain't 1973. Start doing some woman work, and you'll know what I mean. I'm doing all the woman work, and that's alright with me. See, y'all love it, see? Problem with this damn capo is it's like big as a house. No, I don't spend a nickel at Buc-ee's, and I encourage all y'all to boycott Buc-ee's as I do. I don't even drive past Buc-ee's. I go the other side of town, and I do business with my friends instead of the devil from Texas. I got no time for them beaver nuggets. It's amazing the stuff that they can print a beaver on that people will buy. You can get panties with a beaver on them. I don't know if you can get men's underwear or not. This song's called Long Way Around. It's, you got me all flustered now. Well, it's really fun. I feel weird. I'm standing here with all my friends, but I'm up on stage and y'all down there, and I feel like we all should be sitting in a circle somewhere. But y'all are great. I so appreciate y'all being here. So I wrote this song. It's called Long Way Around. 15 years ago, I used to take care of apartments, Section 8 apartments in Bowling Green, 100 units, and that was it was a better education than I got at my fancy private school, was having to clean out Section 8 apartment toilets with a degree and being humbled, you know, and like learning that there was a whole different side of the world that I had no idea existed growing up in my fairly pampered existence that I grew up in. Anyway, long way around. Long distance phone call from a long lost friend. It's a long, long time till I'll see her again. It's a long way up, it's a long way down. It's a mighty long way from here to the outskirts of town. Long-winded preacher, oh, he's longing for the Lord. Too many long-neck bottles makes me awful tired and sore. Long winter nights will make a young man long for love. Long way from the bottom, such a long way from above. Too many times we take the long way around. Took me too long to come back here to my hometown. Long crooked road filled with good times and regrets makes me remember things I've been trying to forget. Long lost vagabond, always long in the tooth. He tugs on his long white beard when he's longing for some truth. It's a long way down the street to his long shotgun shack. Oh, he pays his rent every month to a man who drives a Cadillac. And too many times we take the long way around. Took me too long to come back here to my hometown. Long crooked road filled with good times and regrets makes me remember things I've been trying to forget. Long burning cigarette with a long brown filter tip makes a long life shorter every time one hits my lip. Oh, long about the time you pay for all that love you took. There ain't nothing left, just one long last look. Too many times we take the long way around. Took me too long to come back here to my hometown. Long crooked road filled with good times and regrets makes me remember things I've been trying to forget. Oh, it makes me remember things I've been trying to forget. Oh, it makes me remember things I've been trying to forget. Thank y'all. Thank you. Now where'd that gum capo go? Oh, here it is. If I just learned to play in more than 2 keys, you know, I wouldn't need it all the time. Ain't nobody likes, Billy Strings don't like playing in B flat, you know? Nobody likes it. So when I was about 14, 15, a little younger than Briar, I had this group, these two buddies from church, and they were 2 years older, so they could drive. And so we had a farm over in Hydro, Granddad's farm, and we had a campsite and a good pond to fish in, and they'd come up there all the time, and we'd fish and just hang out. They lived in town, and they just loved to come to the country on Sunday afternoon. So they came up, saw me about every week, and so we decided we was going to have a band, but none of us played anything. I hadn't started playing the guitar yet, and none of us sang. I mean, I sang, you know, always, but I didn't know I could sing in front of people. And Anyway, we're going to have a band, and we're going to call it Wild Game. It's a pretty good redneck band name. And our first song was going to be called Bottled Dreams. Well, years later, thinking about our friends and thinking about, the people, just life in general, Bottled Dreams became a song. And it went through a few renditions. It used to be a dadgum, blow your head off kind of crazy rock and roll song. And then it finally came around to being the song it is now, which is, I think, how it always should have been. What do you say when it ain't like it was before? When your dreams are in a bottle, but your key don't fit no more. In the dawn, you're hanging on to anything you can find that's free. Every evening, you're too damn tired to sleep. I pulled out a Bowling Green in a worn out pickup truck. I had half a pack of cigarettes and nothing but bad luck. I was headed for the highway signs and counting them black fence posts and running like a man who's seen a ghost. Well, it probably wouldn't do no good to turn around, 'cause there ain't nothing left for me, no, in that little town. And I guess Amy's all grown up now. I ain't seen her in a while, but I take a beating just to see her smile. There's a glare upon my windshield, and the sunlight hurts my head. I guess I never listened to a word my mama said. 'Cause she said heartbreak's like a prison, babe, and freedom is a lie. And those memories, all the memories, all the memories, yeah, the memories, yeah, the memories hang on till the day you die. So what do you say, Lord, when it ain't like it was before? When your dreams are in a bottle, but your key don't fit no more. In the dawn, you're hanging on to any good-looking thing you can find that's free. Every evening, you're too damn tired to sleep. In the dawn, you're hanging on to any good-looking thing you can find that's free. Every evening, you're too damn tired to sleep. Thank y'all. So here's a song about my granddad getting his farm. Mr. Levi Lawrence lived there in Hydro on a farm that when he was a boy, there were still native people that were living in this part of the area, at least coming through hunting and stuff, as far as Mr. Levi said. And you know that old video Randy Travis did, the Roar Starts White Shirts, button at the neck? You know that old guy in that video? That's what I always pictured Mr. Levi looking like. It's the old man with Starts White shirt, button at the neck, and sitting in the yard, and the kids playing, because he was old. I was born in like 1860s, 1850s. He was old. Anyway, you know, my grandparents took care of his farm for him when he got old, because there wasn't any place for him to go. And he gave it to him, gave him 100 acres. And I can't afford to buy that 100 acres now. I always thought maybe we'd end up with it, but, you know, I don't have $1 million. But this song's called Levi. A sharecropping farmer back in the 40s. He didn't have a whole lot to say about his life. The harvest moon just meant he might be homeless. He'd have to find a ditch to dig till summertime. Seems every year he had to move his family into another broke down shack beside a barn. They stuffed rags around the doors to keep the wind out. They had an old pot-bellied stove to keep them warm. For years and years they tried to make the best of what they had. My granny washed them clothes out in the yard. The kids were young, they didn't know just how bad Granddad wanted his own farm. Well, Mr. Levi was an old man when they met him. His friends said he'd been an old man all his life. Well, my granddad worked and took care of his home place, and so we gave Granddad that farm the day he died. And on the day he died, they took him down to the hospital. He was sick for a few weeks. He said, Elvis, my granddad's name was Elvis. He said, come down here close. I gotta tell you something. He said, take me back to Hydro in the morning, yeah, before the sun, before it burns that fog away. Find a shady grove to rest my body in a ghost of a town where people used to pray and chisel on the rocks that marks my worn out bones. That I lived among the living, but I died all alone. And at the top of the hill you can find my grave. You know, this hard-working man finally home to stay. Oh, it's finally home to stay. He's home to stay. Oh, he's finally home to stay. A sharecropping farmer way back in the 40s. Well, he didn't have a lot to say about his life. Went to New Zealand for 6 months in college to study abroad, and had this kind of, I thought, girlfriend when I left, and I pined over her the whole time I was in New Zealand and just waited to get back home. I mean, once in a lifetime trip, you know, and I was just waiting to get back home, We've been emailing back and forth because that's what you did then, because it was cheap. And so I was going to go. A lot of my friends in New Zealand, they went to pick fruit for the summer after school's out, because you could go pick fruit and they'd give you a place to stay and live. And they didn't pay nothing, but at least you got to stay in New Zealand a few more weeks. I was like, no, I need to get home. Got to see her. So I'll come back into LAX and go stay with some old friends from college. And this girl was living in St. Louis for the summer with some family. And I called, got up early, called, and as I was catching a plane that morning, I was like, hey, I scheduled an extra long layover. Because, in the 90s, you just kind of didn't make that many plans, and, you kind of felt things out. I was like, I got a real long layover in St. Louis. Come pick me up. We can hang out a few hours before I have to fly back to Nashville. And she's like, Mark, I'm living with somebody. Well, you could have knocked me over with a feather. So I got on an airplane that morning that used to fly out of Ontario Airport there in California. You still walked out on the tarmac at that place. And I got on that airplane, drunker than a monkey. And at 8:30 in the morning, and this old lady behind me, she's like, honey, you need a cookie. I was a mess. And that was a long layover in St. Louis, too, waiting to get home. That song's called St. Louis. Well, the best thing about a good love song is you never know how it'll end. That's what she told me one hot August morning, and I never saw her again. I met her before I was ready. She was way too smart for me. 'Cause I'm just a man, I do work with my hands. I write songs about things I believe. I write songs about things I believe. Well, I thought about something she told me just before we crossed the line. She said, everyone here's got a story to tell, but I don't think you'll be part of mine. Well, it's funny, the things you remember and all of the others you hide. I remember her hair and the smell on her skin, but the years took the rest like the tide. Yeah, it all washed away like the tide. And I never could take direction, and it don't make a damn what you say. I'm gonna burn like a log on a fire until one day I just fade away. If you're gonna live on the outside, you might have to kick down the door. I spent most of my life scared of things in the dark, but I ain't running scared anymore. No, I ain't running scared anymore. Well, I got a guitar way back in high school and figured out that I could rhyme. It don't really matter if nobody cares, 'cause I write them for me most of the time. But I got a lot to be proud of. Yeah, I finally got back to the farm. And I got a woman, but she never gives up, and at night she keeps me safe and warm. Yeah, at night she keeps me safe and warm. Hey, Well, I met her before I was ready. She was way too damn smart for me. 'Cause I'm just a man, I do work with my hands. I write songs about things I believe. I write songs about things I believe. I got one more song for y'all. One more song. What a beautiful evening. Not outside, but in here. What great sound. Thank you to Terry and John and the rest of the crew here. I mean, this is such a treat for a guy like me to have a stage and captive people that can't leave. What a treat. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate you being here. This song comes from meeting this fellow named Eddie. I was standing out in front of my church smoking a cigarette. I think I'm the only person left in Bowling Green to smoke cigarettes out in front of the church. That day, though, I looked just like I always look. I mean, these are my church pants. And I stand out there. We go to church right downtown, and this guy walks up, and he's got on a Star Wars T-shirt and a old baseball cap. Jeans are nasty. And he said a line that I'll never forget. He said, "Am I welcome here?" And I thought, damn, if he asked me that, I wonder if he went to another place down the street and they told him he wasn't welcome there. And I said, "Buddy, you welcome here. You want a cup of coffee? Come on inside." And that just stuck with me and it seems that every time I open up my phone or look at a computer or the news, there's somebody trying to make us hate each other. Somebody trying to drive a stick between us, drive a wedge between us. And I know that that's not the case. I know that's not my neighbors. I know that's not the people that I know. And so I always wonder, what's all that about? So somewhere along the way, I thought that a little love could go a long, long way. Well, he said, "Am I welcome here?" As church bells filled the air. I'm trying to find my way back home, but no one seems to care. He said, "I got the same old story. I've been on the street a while." And that preacher just stuck out her hand, and his fear became a smile. A little love could go a long, long way. Yeah, a little love go a long, 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 long way. A young kid stumbled off the bus as it pulled up to his drive. A torn T-shirt and a busted lip, he was holding back a cry. School can be a rough place, even on the best of days. But when your family's not the same, that fear can turn to hate. A little love could go a long, long way. Yeah, a little love could go a long, 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 long way. It don't matter if you're red or orange or pink or black or blue. Only way to change the world is right in front of you. A doctor with a foreign name came to a little town. Some locals went and trashed his place, and they tried to run him out. But they rode their old Dodge pickup trying to make their getaway. And that doctor saved a young man's life, and their fear all went away. Their fear all went away, 'cause a little love could go a long, long way. Yeah, a little love could go a long, 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 long way. A little love could go a long, long way. A little love can make it right. Shine a little love. You can start today. You can be the answer, you could be the light. A little love, go a long, long way. A little love, make it right. Shine a little love. We can start today. You can be the answer, you could be the light. Oh, you could be the answer, you could be the light. Thank y'all so much. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.